Today I'm going to make some homemade toffee. It's very simple. It's 3 ingredients: butter, brown sugar, and salt. I'm going to start by putting 1 stick of unsalted butter into a pot on my stove and start melting it. And once it's partially melted, I'm going to add in 1 cup of light brown sugar and give that a good stir. And then I'm going to add in a teaspoon of salt. Now, if you don't like the flavor of salt as much, add only a half a teaspoon, but I like salt, so I'm using a full teaspoon. And then you want to break up any clumps in your sugar, and you want to stir this and keep stirring it constantly. You don't want the sugar to burn, but you do want it to melt down and cook down and everything combine together into your toffee. And you do need this to come to about 300 to 305 degrees. So over medium heat, just keep stirring. And then once it starts heating up, add a candy thermometer. Now with a candy thermometer, you do want to make sure that the tip of it is not touching the bottom of your pot. Once it gets to 300 degrees, you need to pour the toffee mixture out onto a parchment lined cookie sheet. I took my sweet time getting it out of the pan, which was my mistake, because it starts to thicken up and get hard very quickly and it becomes harder to work with. So work faster, but just spread it out onto your parchment paper and then let it sit for about 20 minutes and then break it up, or not if you don't want to break it up into small pieces. But I'm going to make it into more so like chips or small pieces because we're going to use it for sundaes later. So I'm going to break it up into smaller pieces. So I'm just using my rolling pin and the parchment paper, and I'm just going to hit it and break it up. But again, you can break it into as big or smaller pieces as you like. And then once it's all broken up into the pieces that I'm looking for, I'm going to use a reusable Ziploc bag and store them until we're ready for them this evening. So I'm just going to fold up the parchment paper and use that as my funnel and put it right into the bag, and then seal the bag and have it tonight for our ice cream sundaes. Enjoy.